Okay, so I'm sitting with Mary Lu Coughlin from Glendale, co-founder of Wellness Works in Glendale, California, and she's been on the path for a long time. She's very young, 74, and I've just been so pleased to work with her and learn from her and hear her stories and her experiences in life. She's just incredible. She's been there, done that. It was a missing piece. So let's see how she found it.
Thank you, Mike. I kind of took some time to reflect from yesterday afternoon leaving here and gathered my thoughts. And I woke up early this morning and wrote them down. But I want to just see how I can speak without reading that, but I'm happy that I have it in words, in written words. Essentially, from a Western medicine point of view, I came here with like an unsolvable hypertension problem that was not able to be managed with Western medication of the heart and all of that. And going through all those tests and things, I was essentially told, you're really very good shape for your age. You just have to kind of recognize you're a little old. And I like that. I kind of, I had read a book some years ago that really impressed me. It was a woman, 91, who wrote a book called "You're Not Old Until You're 90, but It's Best to Be Prepared." And so I figured 74, yeah, I'm still just a little old. Anyway, along with that, that kind of going through all of the various tests and everything, assuring me that my heart, it's basically in good shape, arteries, all of that. Then the next place they went with is I must have some kind of a mental disorder. And I think my first grade teacher had the same thought. But what happened was they diagnosed me with panic anxiety, and then gave me medicines for that, and that exacerbated the blood pressure, so that with panic anxiety meds, I was in the ER with a reading of 200 over 115. March 17th, just 2 months ago. And the response simply was, you have to learn to relax. So I left and went home and thought to myself, this is really, I'm going to have to figure this out, And I knew that breathing, I had, over the researching Google and the internet, the importance of breathing and relaxation. And I tried all the things that I do. I do acupressure, I worked with acupuncture, all of the things over all of many years. I always would come with the issue that I was holding my breath. I need a good breath. I can't get my breath. So I could see here at 73 going on 74, my birthday was in March, that I'm coming to the end of the line of this being a luxury. I need to take this seriously, and clearly no one can do this but me. So I Googled, it was a Sunday morning I think, I Googled breathing, hypertension, self-care, I think are the 3 words I Googled, and up came the Optimal Breathing Institute. So I hit it, and whatever I read in the little stuff that they give you, I thought, okay, looks good. So I hit it, and the picture of Mike is there, and then this long page, paragraph, not paragraph, but a page, and in reading it, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is a little different, this is a little different approach, and then I get down to the bottom, and it's I have this feeling as I'm reading it, it's a little bit like an infomercial or something, but the quality of what's being said intrigues me, so I stick with it, until you get down to the bottom line, and here's this kit, for $99 and whatever. And I thought, okay, what had caught me was like, okay, it's worth it, what have I got to lose? And I ordered the kit. And then continued Googling other things on the internet. But the kit came, and in the meantime, while the kit was coming, I still would have spiking blood pressures at nighttime, and I decided from the last ER and the incident there, I was going to stop taking my blood pressure. All it did was cause me more anxiety to know that it was going up. So but I knew the feeling, so I woke up, and then I just knew it was up to me to try to figure out how to relax. And when the kit came, and it came rather, a couple days, I opened it up and just devoured it, as it were. Oh, I know, the other thing, come back. On that the first Google and reading about it, there was this invitation to take a free test. That was it. That's the real. So it's a free test, and I didn't take it right away. I kind of looked at it, and I think I might have pushed the button, clicked to do it, and then it said this might take 20 minutes, and I'm like, wow, But I came back to it, and I pushed it, and it probably took me about an hour. But the thoroughness of the test and the immediate feedback from the working of the test, which is exercises and talk, that hooked me. It's like it was a clear, with numbers, seeing where my breath was being held, and while I wasn't like at the level like dead the next day, I was up to, I was there was just enough hope that I caught it just in the nick of time, So that was then, I've got to order this kit. So then I ordered the kit. And I'm trying to think if there was something even in one of those practices that I might have done in the interim, Anyway, it somehow started to pull the breath, give me some image, the hope rested in like when the anxiety or when the blood pressure would come up, and it was mostly at night and in the early morning, this hope kind of kept me alive, breathing in a less anxiety way. So that when the kit came, then I saw this band and these pictures and all this, but I had no idea. But I went up and put the DVD into the television and just started. So then I had a face to Mike, and I think there was like the green of the background of his house here, and I was like, oh man, this is it, And but as I listened through his introduction and the window of opportunity, the OBW and that, and kind of kept listening. And he said, don't do these or something as you do it. Don't just listen. But I kind of got a little bit of a sense of it, and then I went back. And that first morning, I just kept replaying it it got to the strapping thing, and then I went and got that, and did the strapping as best I could. But however I did it was like something happened, changed, a breath, and again my eyes lit up. I was excited. So with that, I came to the phone, got my test, and I called, and the phone answered. It was a woman I didn't realize at the time. It was Kim, Mike's wife, but I was just saying, is there someone I live in Los Angeles, that does this? And I was like, no, not really. Practitioners do it, but there isn't someone that I could go to out there specifically. So then I wanted to know if there were classes, and can I come to them? And no, there's not really classes as such. I can come and have sessions. So that was good. However, at that point in time, I didn't have I didn't have the stamina. I was dizzy, lightheaded. I wasn't sleeping at night. I had these spikes. I just wasn't able to navigate doing the whole thing that would have been routine otherwise.
One thing on that note, a lot of people think that they have to get well to come here to heal. And if she'd had called me up and told me that was her situation, I would have said, I don't care, you get on a train, get here. You can't fly, take a train, you can't do it, but just get here. Because that's really what we're about. There's a lot of people that think they have to heal to get here to heal, and this is where you come to heal. So, but whoever watching this, just have that in mind, that you need to get here. 80% of success is showing up.
Okay, okay, I'm going to respond to that too, Mike. In my case, as it unfolded, it's kind of like I have an issue with lifelong post-traumatic stress. So when the anxiety, where I was with this blood pressure, ER rooms, and kind of like no hope on that direction, and work, I've been familiar with holistic, my issue was that if it spiked in the anxiety and not having a tool of being put in a position, if I had a high blood pressure, them being at the airport, coming here to Charlotte, being on the plane, and having a stroke, or and then I would be up shit creek. So it was, I needed to at least have the feeling that I could handle the blood pressure thing and have some stamina, have some night's sleep, which did start to happen. So as so the toolkit is the kit, and some of the practices that I used, and one of the practices, a couple practices that work when you wake up at night to get the reflexes, the breathing working. As I had some familiarity with just the core little tools that I could kind of relate to, I called Kim several times. She really, kept assuring me I was on the right track. And I think I might have called and still didn't have the stamina, but I said my goal was to come in May. And when somewhere early, mid-April, early beginning, I knew that I could do it. And so I made the reservation and came. And here I am. So, why am I happy? Okay, Western medicine is hypertension, essential hypertension, and you've got a mental disorder. Mike's diagnosis is I have OAB.
UDB.
Overactive brain.
Oh, overactive brain. Right. Okay. Now the issue with Western diagnosis is they generally treat sympathetic nervous system stress by reducing the sympathetic nervous system stimulation. And they do that with drugs, or they do that with that's not the answer. You need to strengthen the parasympathetic, and when you do that, the sympathetic automatically backs off. So that's the approach, and she actually used it this morning, which she'll share with you before we end off here. But she actually used it for the first time over the phone with a post-traumatic stress syndrome veteran, a military veteran, in real time in a major incident. So anyway, she'll share that with you before we end off this talk.
So I have to tell you, that was an incredibly graced experience this morning. And I'm grateful that I can help people understand his work better and actually do it. But the first couple of days here, that overactive brain is, it wasn't like a shock to me to hear that. The thinking, analyzing, having to understand everything. I've had many of healers, therapists, and so on, just their thing is, you gotta relax, you gotta relax, you gotta relax. I know. And you think too much, I know. But it's if my will could make my thinking stop, trust me, I wouldn't be here.
How to gag the monkey mind.
So what I really loved, and I used it with the veteran this morning was every time, and it happened repeatedly, I don't know, it was the second day or third day, but I just kept having to I didn't even know that it's analyzing and thinking. It was just my world. It's like I have to have some understanding before I'm going to do this, or this is what's happening. Is this what's happening? So he got rather brutal. Like if I start doing it, he goes like, "Shut up! You know, breathe! You know." And I just look at him and I kind of hear "Shut up, breathe." That doesn't really open a discussion. You know, it's like his response to my thinking is "Shut up and breathe." So my response, it started to happen because he was also working, opening up, seeing my body, you know, pushing this, doing that, whatever.
We're working with physically with the mechanics so that she had the capabilities of following my instructions, whereas most people don't. Their breathing patterns are stuck in concrete. And you can't move them. They can't move them. Nobody can move them. They have to be released, and that's where the self-help techniques in the kit come in. And then, if all else fails, they come here, or they send me there.
Yeah, and the thing about it for myself was I had an enormous context of almost everything available for us here in the United States and other places as well, to try to integrate the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and be whole persons, if we're so inclined to think that sounds like a good place to be. So as Mike keeps having me to shut up and breathe, as we're also working to open up the breathing, and I feel that breath, it just, I got it, and now I've got it. It's a mechanic of within me. It's a mechanical correction within my body, and I can make this. Things just kept opening.
There's a feeling for good breathing. It's like I say, it's like the taste of chocolate. You taste the chocolate of breathing, there's a feeling, and it's very specific. And if a person doesn't know it, they could be told any manner of exercises, and that's all the be-all, and this is it, and this is for this, and this is for that, and they'll believe it because they don't have an internal frame of reference. So we're giving people internal frames of reference. They know it's right. There's a sense of peace and calm and relaxation. And it's instantaneous, and it's trainable so that people can access it at any moment in time. And the more they access it, the more they feel what it's like to be there all the time. And that's the key, of course, and then we get out of balance. So life is really a system of getting out of balance and then getting back in balance. The better you learn what we're teaching here, the less you go out of balance, and the quicker you come back into balance.
And really the real, like the awareness is, I think traditionally, many of us, you know, told to relax. Well, what we do is we put our mind onto something else. We go to the show, we pick up a book, we go to eat, we go to we do something to distract our thinking into thinking something that feels more pleasurable or we like to do, but it doesn't really lock in, doesn't change
the mechanics on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
It's the mind-body approach, and our approach is the body-mind approach.
And with that, I want to say, this is not a fashion statement. It's something I've been wearing almost from the first day, maybe midday, when the understanding that my shoulders come down, you know. So this is a reminder, but I wear it now, and I've learned to befriend it really, and I even when I'm not wearing it, it's starting to give me body memory of how to have my shoulders back.
Exactly, and we're going to have to end right now because we have an appointment to make, and then we'll just pick this up when we finish the appointment. Okay.